Open letter to Prime Minister NIKOL PASHINIAN on the violation of ecological sustainability in the South Caucasus region by the mining industry of the Republic of Armenia. Mr. Prime Minister, we, the undersigned civil society organizations operating in the Republic of Azerbaijan, address this letter to you, expressing the deep concerns regarding the serious ecological crisis caused by the regional and global effects of the works carried out in the mining industry of the Republic of Armenia on the environment by grossly violating international environmental norms and standards. Regarding the growing environmental problems in your country, we share deep concerns of the civil society organizations of Armenia as well. Degradation of the ecosystem as a result of ongoing mining operations is not only a threat to Armenia's environment, but also a great threat to the neighboring countries. The transborder nature of environmental damage puts the health and well-being of the communities in the region and beyond at risk. We demand the cessation of the mining industry, which violates international environmental norms and standards and the rights of the region population. We note that the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations provide a comprehensive framework for solving environmental, social and economic problems. UN member states have recognized clean air, safe drinking water and sanitation as environmental factors of health. At the same time, UN recognizes a clean, healthy and sustainable environment as a basic human right. However, committing these environmental crimes, Armenia violates the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, especially third goal on good health and well-being, the sixth goal on clean water and sanitation, the 12th goal on responsible production and consumption, on 13th goal, combating the consequences of climate change, and the 15th goal on protection of the Earth's ecosystem. We call on the Republic of Armenia to immediately stop the activities of the following enterprises that seriously damage the ecosystem in the region. First, chromium, nickel, copper, molybdenum, zinc, aluminium, vanadium, lead and other heavy metal containing mining wastes from Zangezur, copper, molybdenum combined in Gajaran and the combined in Gafan are polluting the Okhchai and Araz rivers. 60% of Zangezur copper molybdenum combined shares are owned by Germany's Chronomet Mining GmbH. An average of 20 million tons of ore is processed here during the year without following any environmental norms. The 270 million square meter arsenic reservoir, which is the mine tailings pool of the combine, is a big threat to the entire region. Since 2019, the Gafan mining complex has been part of the British company Harat Gold International Limited and is currently called Harat Kapan. During the year, an average of 1.3 million tons of ore is processed here. The Gutkum Gaganosh mining waste deposit, which covers an area of 4.6 million square meters within the Gafan mining complex, poses a threat to the region. Mining waste containing heavy metals from Akara copper molybdenum combine also poisons the Araz River through Kerchevan-Chay. The US company Kansab Commodities bought all the shares of the combine and became its full shareholder. During the year, an average of 4 million tons of ore is processed here. According to the information, approximately 36.8 million cubic meters of hazardous waste in the Davazan waste warehouse of the combine are collected. The water from the waste reservoir flows into the transboundary Araz River. During the occupation, the Armenian authorities illegally put the Zod field of Kalbajar, located on the border with Azerbaijan, into the full exploitation of the GeoPro mining company. In 2009, 320 and 500 tons. In 2010, 490,000 tons, and in 2011 880,000 tons processed in Davali Ararat gold processing plant. As a result, the Zod River near the mine was polluted with heavy metals such as copper, iron, cadmium and molybdenum. Considering that the polluted Zod River flows into the Q River, this is a great threat to the lives of the millions of the people. In 2018, European Court of Human Rights issued a decision regarding the violation of ecological balance rights of Armenia for polluting the region by allowing the operation of this mine. European Court of Human Rights issued 6 decisions against Armenia on February 14, 2018, found the exploitation of illegal mining industry on the lands of the residents of the villages of Shinekh and Tugut, who appealed to the court, and in this regard Armenian government was requested to pay compensation in the amount of 69 and 400,000 euros to the affected villagers. And the Dashdam gold mine in Göiçe produces about 10,000 ounces of gold per year. Mining continuously pollutes the local air supply. A high concentration of heavy metals such as arsenic and mercury, harmful to human health and the environment, was found in the mine's wastewater. The mine wastewater poisons nearby rivers, including the main source of fresh water in the Bargushat River. Bargushat River flows into Araz River. The mine is managed by the Canadian company Lydian International. 7. Akhtala mine in Lori region of Armenia produces about 5,000 tons of copper and lead per year. A high concentration of heavy metals such as copper, lead and zinc, harmful to human health and the environment, was found in the mine's wastewater. The mine is managed by Metal Prince Company. Wastewater from the mine pollutes the nearby Tona River. That river flows into the Q River. Akhtala mine was closed in 2017 due to the environmental problems. However, in 2020, the mine was restored for the operation. Gafan manganese plant is one of the largest manganese plants not only in Armenia but also in the world. The plant produces manganese ore, manganese dioxide and other manganese products with an annual output of about 1.5 million tons of ore. During the extraction and processing of manganese ore, heavy metals, dust, other pollutants are released into the air and water. These pollutants cause a number of health problems, including respiratory problems, neurological diseases, and cancer. The plant also significantly pollutes the nearby Bargushat River, an important source of drinking water for the South Caucasus region. ECOLOGICAL plant is a metallurgical plant. It is named Gotayk, that produces copper, zinc, and lead. The factory contaminates Arpachay River with heavy metals such as copper, lead, and cadmium that have a negative impact on human health. The plant produces large amounts of air pollution, including sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and particulate matter. This pollution adversely affects human health, causing respiratory problems, heart diseases, and other serious diseases. The factory discharges its wastewater to Arpachay, the main source of drinking water. A large amount of solid waste, rich in heavy metals generated in the factory, pollutes the soil and seeps into the groundwater. Göiçe Gegarnukunik copper smelting plant is one of the main copper smelting plants in Armenia. It produces about 100,000 tons of copper per year. The plant belongs to GeoPro Mining Company of Armenia. The plant emits large amounts of sulfur dioxide and other pollutants into the atmosphere, causing air pollution and acid rain. The factory discharges its waste water to Arpachai, the main source of drinking water. Arpachai in turn carries pollutants to Aras. Sewage water destroys aquatic life in Arpachai. QHT copper smelting plant, which is named by your side Gegardkunik, is a source of great danger to the environment and human beings. 11. The construction of a new metallurgical plant in Arazdeyan, Yerask, which is being built against the requirements of environmental norms and international conventions, should also be stopped. The potential impacts of toxic chemicals waste from this metallurgical plant on the local ecosystem could be enormous. The discharge of waste into the Aras River means a tragedy for the creatures living in the river and for the large farms that use the Aras River for irrigation. This impact on drinking water supplies can also lead to the spread of infectious diseases in border areas. This will create a serious public health crisis for both Azerbaijan and Armenia. 12. Mining waste containing heavy metals formed as a result of the operation of Amulsar gold deposit, whose activities have been protested many times by international organizations, are also being discharged to the Bergushat River and polluting the Aras River through Hakkari River. The gold mining industry has caused environmental pollution that transcend national borders. Thus, the mine leaves behind a large number of waste rock and waste piles, which pollutes the soil and leads to a high acceleration of the erosion process in the mountains. Such exploitation of Amulsar gold deposit is a serious threat to the region surrounding by the Caucasus Mountains and its population. Amuldak field is located 13 kilometers away from the city of Istisu-Jermuk, which is a natural mineral water. The deposit is also located in the area between Arpachai and Bazarchai. Both rivers pass through the territory of Azerbaijan and follow into the Aras River. The use of toxic substances, which have been banned for a long time in the exploitation of Amuldak field, which pose a high threat to the environment, destroys nature, causes acidification of river waters and water poisoning. In addition to gold mining polluting the water of this river, it also has a negative impact on the ecosystem of Lake Gökçe-Sevan, which is the largest freshwater lake in Armenia located near the area. At the same time, this industry poses a serious threat to the Caspian Sea. Arpachai and Bazarchai, which flow from the territory of Nakhchivan Autonomous Republic of Azerbaijan, flow into the Aras River and from there into the Caspian Sea. Thus, it seriously damages the ecology of not only Azerbaijan, but also Iran, as well as other Caspian countries. The gold deposit is operated by Lydian Armenia company. The full shareholder of this company is Lydian International of Great Britain. The main shareholders of the company are Orion Mine Finance USA, Resource Capital Funds USA, Merck Investments and Tocqueville Asset Management LP. The 12 facts listed above are only a visible part of international disasters that have occurred. There are so many cases behind that we are aware. It is known that some time ago, more than 60 civil society organizations operating in Armenia addressed to you and warned that The work of the Amuldar mine will cause a great damage to the environment, and therefore the Armenian authorities should cancel the decision to resume its activity. The prosecutor's office should reject the results of the expertise regarding the impact of mine on the environment. Mr. Prime Minister, Transborder River Convention, which entered into force 2014, are grossly violated by the Armenian government. The purpose of the convention is to ensure fair and sustainable use of transboundary watercourses. This convention envisages working closely with and taking into account the views of affected communities if water resources pose a risk to social, economic and environmental development. However, the Armenian government has not taken into account the concerns of Azerbaijanis and even Armenians living in neighboring villages in the organization of the mining industry, which may affect the freshwater resources of the region, and has not involved in the environmental assessment processes. The UN Guiding Principles on Business and Human Rights set out a framework for promoting responsible behavior in business, including the mining industry. These principles emphasize the need for companies to protect human rights, prevent negative environmental impacts, and communicate with affected communities in a transparent, inclusive manner. We call on all stakeholders, including foreign companies engaged in mining in Armenia, to adapt their activities to these principles and integrate them into their operational practices. We invite those who invest in field exploration and production to be aware of the environmental disaster they are creating and to act responsibly. With the explosion of the above-mentioned mines, the Armenian government clearly ignores the provisions of the UN Economic Commission for Europe Convention on Environmental Impact Assessment in a transboundary context, ESPO Convention. The ESPO Convention acknowledges that environmental matters transcend national borders and emphasize the necessity of international discourse when multiple states are involved in specific cases. The Aarhus Convention plays an important role in ensuring access to information, public participation, and justice in environmental issues. As a signatory to this convention, Armenia must fulfill its obligations by ensuring that the population of the affected region has access to information on mining activities, participation in decision-making processes, and ways to eliminate environmental damage. We call on the government of Armenia to create an enabling environment for civil society organizations and local communities to actively participate in dialogue and decision-making processes related to mining. As Canadian professor Stephen Emmerman says, the truth is that all sulfide mines cause water pollution. Wherever there is a mining industry, there is a danger of constant pollution of water and with waste. Mr. Prime Minister, as it is known from above-mentioned facts, Armenia's mining industry has caused a serious environmental disaster in the South Caucasus region. We appeal to you to open the doors of all mining industry facilities of Armenia to experts specialized in the field of ecology and health, civil society organizations of Azerbaijan specialized in this field. Taking into account the international standards and principles listed above, to allow them to inspect the facilities, to evaluate and create full conditions for monitoring, taking appropriate samples, and measuring. We also recommend that you create appropriate platforms for dialogue and consultation to strengthen trust, inclusion, and shared responsibility, demonstrate political will and leadership to ensure transparency and accountability in the mining industry, implement necessary reforms, and ensure the disclosure of timely, reliable, and comprehensive information on the extractive industry. We call on the Armenian government for responsible management to immediately stop the work in the mining industry that threatens our region and our beautiful planet, and to make decisions that ensure sustainable development and a healthy future for the people of the region. Signatures. Executive Director of Sağlamlığa Xidmət Public Union, Parvana Valiyeva. Vice Chair of Experts in the Field of Water Use Public Association, Amin Mammadov. Chairman of Ecologist 2010, Environmental Awareness Public Association, Salim Babayev. Chairman of Biosphere Public Association, Mr. Korkmaz Ibrahimli. Chairman of Shafak Ecotourism Public Association, Mr. Vamik Babayev. Chairman of Patient Organizations Union and Hemophilian Patients Public Association, Ayaz Husseinov. Chairperson of Environmental Education and Monitoring Public Union, Gamza Yusubova. Chairperson of Pediatric Cardiology and Rheumatology Public Association, Sveta Rafieva. Director of Towards TB-Free Future Public Union, Cengiz Ramazanlı. Chairman of Green World Public Association of Environmental Awareness, Elman Jafarli. Chairperson of Socio-Economic and Ecological Development Public Association, Rahila Mehdiyeva. Chairman of Ecological Information Public Association, Musa Muratlı. Chairman of Towards a Healthy Life Public Association, Sadiq Hasanov. Chairperson of Women Initiative for Development Public Association, Ziba Nabiyeva. Chairperson of Social Aid to the People with Hearing and Speech Disabilities Public Association, Jamila Abdulova. Chairperson of Fight Against Leukemia Public Association, Mehriban Bağırova. Director of ECOLOGICAL Environmental Law Center Public Association, Sevil Isayeva. Chairperson of Support for the Development of Sustainable Tourism Public Association, Narmina Garibova. Chairperson of Health and Healthy Life Public Association, Alizada Jahangir. Chairman of Ecotest Environmental Research and Education Public Association, Cengiz Nazarov. Chairman of Mazakür Public Association of Support for the Study of Environmental Problems, Rustam Malikov.